Hi, this is the man from Modesto. This is a response, an answer to a question. How can an omniscient, all-knowing God not know that something's going on in the world? And this is really a further development of this bad teaching, which is spoken of all through the world. Remember, YouTube is just a reflection of, it's just a cross-section of society in general, across North America, South America, Europe, wherever. So this guy, he's a young guy with a cool accent, sounds like he's from Australia or New Zealand or something. That's fine. He really liked my shirt and tie look, so I'm repeating that today as a courtesy for you. Let's see here. YouTube is, yeah, okay. You say that you refuse to accept God's law, but you know what? The Bible actually says that some people obey God's law and they never heard God's law. And it says other people have heard God's law, but they don't obey God's law. And it says that greater is the person who obeys that never heard the law, even than someone who did hear the law and does obey. But what is God's law? I think most people don't understand. It's real simple. Jesus explained. He said, number one, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And number two, love your neighbor. Now that's a real simple thing. Love your neighbor. Most people obey that. They're kind. They share with people who don't have. And many of them are atheists. Many of them are philosophers. And life goes good for them. Because the Bible teaches whatever you reap, that's what you're going to sow. Whatever you give out, that's what you're going to get back. Now even some false religions have observed this law of God. And they call it other things such as karma. Oh, he has bad karma. He has good karma. Well, in Christian thought, we know that they're accurately recognizing something, although they've put it into a wrong system. The component itself is correct. That however you treat others, that's how you're going to be treated back. Whatever you would like, however you'd like to be treated, that's how you should treat others. Whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. Okay, so that's one of God's laws. You could call it a natural law or a law of humanity, or you could call it any kind of thing, but it is what it is. The fact is that we find in life that how we treat other people, that's how we get treated in return. Okay, but now back to Jesus' description of God's commands. Love other people. Now, most people do that. They love other people. That's natural. But let's give a test. Let's see if you really do refuse God's laws. The Ten Commandments really are an expansion of loving other people. They're simple things. Number one, don't lust after your neighbor's wife. Don't covet her. Don't want your neighbor's wife. And also your neighbor's things, right? Don't desire to own your neighbor's property. Why? That's going to put you in conflict with him. That's going to make your life bad. Is that loving him? If you want to take from him what he has and make it your own, his wife, his donkey, his land, his car, his cell phone, his girlfriend, whatever you're trying to take from that guy. No, you don't want to do that. That's not loving him at all, okay? So do you think those things are right? Most people would agree. Yeah, I think that's right. You shouldn't go and sleep with someone else's wife, someone else's girlfriend. You shouldn't steal someone else's car. You shouldn't take things that aren't yours. This is real simple. Don't desire what you're never. That's one of God's laws. Don't do that. And this is what else God said. He said that after the Messiah came, who was Jesus, that these things would be written onto the hearts of those who chose to follow God. And so here's the thing, is that people understand basically what's right and what's wrong. So there's a discussion of what's good or bad as opposed to what's evil. But the basic matter is that you can understand in your heart that God is woven through all things. And God cares also about you. God cares about and God loves the people even who reject him. It hurts him that he's rejected the same way it would hurt you if you loved someone intensely and they rejected you. It would hurt you, and so also it hurts God, because we are created in the likeness and image of God. So all the things that are true about the nature of God are also true about you. So something that hurts your heart, something like a bus full of children being in a terrible accident and some of them are seriously injured and a few die, like that's upsetting to us. It's very upsetting to God, because we are created like him. Something that makes us happy makes him happy. So you said that you know some Christians that you hate, and that you know some Christians that you like. Well, let me tell you, the Christians that you like, they're doing it right. Because Jesus said, they will know you by your love for each other, and they will desire to be like you because of the love you have for one another. Because love is attractive. People want to go where there's love. They want to be loved. They want to be in a loving community. They want to have a great group of friends who will love each other as themselves and even put other people above them. This is what Jesus did. Jesus went and died to pay a blood atonement, a blood sacrifice for everyone who will believe in Jesus and turn away from the evil of the world and follow God. Because this is the thing. God said, test all things, and God hates above all things hypocrisy. So, God is no hypocrite. We can be sure of this. Now, listen carefully, because this is going to answer your question. How can these things be if there's evil? God is testing you. God is testing me. There are two buffet tables of things. There's God's way, which are all good. When you participate in God's things, you can tell at the end result because it ends up being better than you expected. Better than you expected. Now, if you participate in the buffet table of Satan's thing, sex before marriage, stealing, drugs, really bad music, okay, it looks good, and then you get into it and you find out that there are all kinds of bad things associated with it. Addiction, sexually transmitted diseases, rejection by others, fights, conflict, depression, spirit of suicide, all kinds of problems come with that. Now, when it's offered to you, it looks like it's just something really nice, really enjoyable, and then you get into it and you find out there's all kinds of poison attached to it, like very strong cords that are difficult to break. So, God is not responsible for everything, but He allows that you will be tested. He allows that. Now, God was not unaware of the fact that in Jeremiah 7:31, where it talks about these people sacrificing, He wasn't unaware of it. You said, how can an omniscient God not know? He knew it was going down. Obviously, He learned about it at some point because He's talking about it to Jeremiah. But He knew when it entered their minds. He knew when they decided to do it. And He knew when the devil, when darkness planted that idea. So those people at that time, just like you today, were given a choice. This buffet table over here of evil things, which included for them all the way up to the point of burning their own children in fire, right? They had that choice and they had God's law. Those people even knew God's law. And those people all were destroyed. Jeremiah was warning them that death was coming, that they were going to be taken away as slaves, and that a great deal of them were going to be killed by the Babylonians. And that's what happened to them. That's what happened to them for their sin. And here's the thing. Before I saw your message, the Lord was talking to me about this message for the atheists. Very bad things are about to happen to America. Very bad things are coming to this world. And it's a manifestation of the long-standing war, the struggle between evil and good. And you need to make a decision, and it needs to be for good. You need to go talk to those Christians that you said you like and ask them, hey, what's the deal? How do I get saved? How do I secure my eternal spirit, my eternal soul to heaven and not to hell? Because these are very real things. The idea that there's no hell, that's a lie. Now, you've been led to believe that this is simply a conflict of ideas, a conflict of philosophies. But it's much more than that. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not sharing with you that I believe what's written in the Bible because someone told me so. I'm preaching it to you because I believed in it, because God showed me that He is true to His word. When I pray, things happen. When I ask Him, things happen, including all the way up to showing me where Al-Qaeda lieutenants were when I was serving in the military, where He had sent me to serve for this nation. All the way including up to God told me that if I flew to Kiev, Ukraine, He had chosen a wife for me there. I went for 7 weeks. I met her on the second day. She's in the next room right now. So I'm not just talking about theory. I'm talking about something that I have used my life and which is proven fact, not theory. I'm not having a debate with you. I'm telling you how it is, that God is real, that you have an eternal soul, and you better make plans, you better make provisions that you're going to take that soul, that you're going to enter into heaven. And the only way to do that is through Jesus Christ. Whoever accepts Jesus accepts God, and whoever rejects Jesus rejects God. This is the man from Modesto telling you as always to pray or be defeated.